my first time in Nigeria. I'm ashamed to admit. Why the hell I haven't been here early, I don't know. But it is my first time and I'm immediately in love. My great friend Baba, who's brought me over here. We sat, his sister I knew very well. She said, "You've got to come to Lagos." I'm like, what? It's funny because before I came here from UK, I started going to Lagos. Everyone's like, oh man, be so careful, it's really dangerous. You know, every city has dangerous parts. Nobody going to any city, London, Lagos, Paris, Rio, you don't go to certain parts with big watches, you know, you're just sensible. And this is a joyous city. It's absolute, it has totally the wrong reputation. I've been looked after beautifully, eaten well, been happy, had drinks. It's lovely. So they've got it totally wrong. I hope this isn't the last time. I absolutely love it here. And I'll be going back to my country and saying, what the hell are you talking about? Get to Lagos now. It's fantastic. In London, there's a big Nigerian community down in Peckham, so you can go and get decent Nigerian, so jollof and pepper soup and suya and all those sort of things. But really, I wanted to come to the home, to where it really is, the proper home, and wherever Lagos. That's that's the best. So I have tried a lot of it, but I'm eating my way around. She's a good cook, you know, she doesn't cook so much now, but yes, she did, I mean, she also has a roast chicken. The English love their roasts, you know, roast chicken, roast beef, that's one of the few things that we're famed for. So yeah, she was a good home cook. She brought, you know, my dad worked, so she cooked for all of us, you know, every day. It was, you know, not anymore, but oh, she still does at Christmas a bit, you know, maybe scrambled eggs or something, but very good cook. Restaurant critic, you know, I go looking for good things. I don't want to go, the language of hate is much richer than the language of like and love. So occasionally if a restaurant's really bad, yes, you're honest and say this is appalling, but it's a hard world, the restaurant world. You know, people put their whole lives, they're working incredible hours, putting all their life savings. To have one sort of stuck-up idiot like me coming in on a bad night and saying, ugh, you know, it's not fair. So, yes, you look for good, and, you know, you can't compare looking at, say, Jean-Christophe Novelli, who's here, you know, proper Michelin, very grand French cooking, to perhaps a Szechuan hot pot. So I like to judge everything. Do they taste good? You know, first of all, but also a restaurant's not just about the food. A restaurant's about the service. It's about the atmosphere. You know, a great restaurant is made up of many, many things. So you've got to judge it not just for the food, but would you go back? That's the most important thing. I don't like trends in food because trends are by their nature ephemeral. They don't last long, trends. What I want is consistent good cooking. So yes, you know, there have been trends for, I mean, at the moment what's big in London is very high-end West African food. So you take jollof or you take the pepper soup, the suya, and make it into fine dining, so Michelin starred, and that's huge. Restaurants like Ikoyi, it's really, really big. We didn't know much as a country about West African food, especially Nigerian food, and you'd have to go and find it, you know, in the communities where lots of Nigerians. Now it's hit the mainstream. Everyone's like, oh wow, this is the best food, you know. So the idea is a trend. I don't want any food to be a trend. I want it to be good all the time. So I try and avoid trends and just go to, you know, new restaurants open, great, but I try to avoid trends. I don't like trends. But also I like the way, you know, the classic dishes should be done. If you're going to do, I don't know, a classic Italian or French dish, do it right. Don't put cream in the carbonara. You can, you know, I'm not saying you can't do it, but there are certain traditional culinary traditions that should be respected and preserved. The problem with British food is that people across the world, and I'll talk about this when I'm doing the masterclass, you say British food, fish and chips, boring, no spice. British food is very much about good ingredients. We have quite a lot of rain, so we have good grass, which means we have very good sheep, cows, well, pigs, they don't really eat grass, but they vary a bit. We also have very good cheese, we have good dairy, so we have very, very good produce. And we're not like the Thais or the Mexicans or the French. We don't use lots of different sauces, but there are traditional herbs and spices we use. But it's quite plain food. It doesn't have to be boring food. You know, a beautiful rib of beef, roasted, you know, and so it's still pink in the middle, sliced very thin, with a rich, intense gravy. Roast potatoes, crisp and golden on the outside and fluffy on the inside. Lots of vegetables. You think of smoked salmon. You think of, you know, just all of our great fish, crab salads. It doesn't travel up because the ingredients are very seasonal and they have to be very fresh and the very best. So you don't see many British restaurants in Lagos, for example, or New York or anywhere, but it is unfairly maligned. There was a time when we lost touch with our food culture for, you know, a mixture of many things. And people came over and it was dull and it was institutional and it was turgid and it was grey. But really, there's always been good food in this country and you'll find it at home, but it's about ingredients and it's about traditional recipes. Yes. Very well. This dish I'm cooking today is a hybridization. I don't want to take, you know, an English dish, shepherd's pie or cottage pie with Nigerian spices, and that makes it. But no, these restaurants like Ikoyi. Ikoyi is in the West End of London. One of the chefs is of Nigerian descent. His father's Nigerian, I think both. Anyway, so what he's doing is using Nigerian spicing with French technique. So it's fascinating. It's really, you should go, and it's like 2 Michelin stars. Very, very posh, amazing.